Shalom, wa barakatah to the 12 tribes. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So I wanted to give y'all a quick update as to some of the news and events that have been going on as of late, right? Because being in this truth, we're supposed to be keeping watch at all times and seeing the world produce greater and greater evils, like it says in 2nd Ezra 14, and seeing the world in general and the people of the world get spiritually weaker and more wicked, right? Because these are signs that we're getting closer and closer to the real troubles in Jacob's trouble, right? So I was talking to a brother about this earlier in the week, and I was telling him, being out in society more this week than I have in a while, being out in the general population, going to different stores and getting groceries and things of that nature, working, I can discern and see through spiritual eyes that there is an ominous presence that is blanketing society, right? Especially as this wicked holiday, so-called holiday season is upon us. And as more and more of these GMO humans are getting more of that venom injected into them, becoming literal vessels of Satan, right? We can see all these things coming to pass. So first, let's take a look at the leader of the LAPD Police Force Union telling people not to travel to LA County because it is quote unquote like that Purge movie, right?
My message to anybody considering coming to Los Angeles, especially during the holiday season, is don't.
A sobering and somewhat terrifying statement from the LA Police Protective League, the union representing LAPD officers. The message coming as a crime wave continues to slam the city and surrounding areas.
We can't guarantee your safety. It is really, really out of control. I said it to people before. It's like that movie Purge. Instead of 24 hours to commit your crime, these bad people have 365 days to commit whatever they want.
So for those of you who don't know, the last Purge movie was called The Forever Purge, which I just got a chance to see last week with my rib, right? So he's basically telling people that it is like the Forever Purge. They have 24/7, 365 days to do whatever they want. Sounds to me like he's encouraging it. But let's take a look at a few of the crimes that have been going on there.
Again, a follow-home robbery overnight, this time in Melrose. Welcome to the Fox 11 News. I'm Susan Hirosuna. The LAPD is warning about this crime trend, and now they reveal they're investigating more than 100 cases.
During the video, the men demand they open the door, and when the residents appear to struggle, punches and curse words are slung. LAPD detectives confirm they are investigating the video, but say they've been unable to find a police report that would indicate when or where exactly it happened. We did speak with residents at the house believed to be at the center of the video, and a person answered, simply saying they did not want to talk at this time. But the video is creating a buzz after several similar videos showing follow-home robberies and a string of violent assaults on camera throughout Los Angeles.
Sadly, I wasn't surprised. It happens a lot over here, and it should be normal. It is.
Shaheem lives in the Fairfax area and says he was targeted just a few days ago while he was live streaming on YouTube. He says someone ran off with his phone.
I chased them like 2 blocks, and they realized that they were going to get away, so they threw my phone,
leaving behind some damage to his phone. Shaheem says he believes it's not safe to walk alone anymore.
At all times, like looking behind you, to your left and your right, it's like it sucks because you want to just walk and enjoy your day.
LAPD detectives also recommend people are aware of their surroundings following the recent string of violent robberies.
So follow home robberies is one of the biggest crimes going on there. They said they have over 100 open cases in LA alone, right? But if you look up other articles, it's not really making the mainstream news, but a lot of local news stations are reporting on it. All across the country, there's follow home robberies. People are seeing people, watching people in grocery stores, in malls, in restaurants, etc., and following them home to rob them, assault them, sexually assault them, all types of wickedness, right? But let's look at a few other the crimes that have been going on in California specifically.
Mobs of looters storming and ransacking high-end stores in the San Francisco area, and they appear to be organized. It happened 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here's video at Nordstrom where a wave of thieves struck at the same time. Police say it was clearly a planned event, and one store employee was even pepper sprayed. Most of the suspects escaped. CNBC's Kate Rogers is on the ground in San Francisco covering the smash and grab crime spree.
This isn't a flash mob, it's a flash rob. A string of retail thefts hitting different stores in San Francisco and Walnut Creek this weekend as the holiday shopping season gets into full swing, causing panic and mayhem amongst shoppers. Nordstrom in Walnut Creek blocked by 25 cars as many as 80 people ran in, some with crowbars, making off with armfuls of goods, according to onlookers. The crime over within a minute. And in San Francisco, 8 stores, including high-end luxury shops like Louis Vuitton, were looted and vandalized. Some now boarded up. Police running up to one car full of suspects, breaking windows in an attempt to stop them from getting away. Police calling the thefts orchestrated.
So orchestrated thefts and robberies are also on the rise. So just think about this real quick before I play these next few videos. If people are doing this now, when just because of inflation and things of that nature, and they're doing it for unnecessary goods, what do you think is going to happen when the famine hits? Right? Just think about that for a second.
Tonight we have new video. It shows a bold smash and grab at a Southland mall. This is the 3rd straight day a large mob of robbers have gone after retailers in the Bay Area. KPIX5's Da Lin is live outside Southland Mall with the very latest for us. Da.
Yeah, Julia, that robbery caused mass chaos here at Southland Mall earlier this afternoon. Many stores actually went into lockdown, stores pulling down their front metal gate to close down early, workers and customers running into the back of the store to seek safety. Robbers used hammers to smash glass cases and ran off with jewelry. You can hear workers inside Sam's Jewelers screaming in fear.
It was like a whole bunch of glass just shattering.
Witnesses say this was the tail end of a much bigger scene.
I would say at least 30 to 40 from what I saw, but then after the main group of kids rushed out, we saw about maybe 15 to 20 scattering
going back. And then some even came back in.
These 2 women work near Sam's Jewelers. They and other mall workers say some kids ran into other stores and took off with shoes and clothes.
Says just minutes before 3 this afternoon, 5 people wearing masks, hoodies, and gloves walked in, most carrying hammers. He says they didn't say a word as they shattered each display case and grabbed as much jewelry as they could. He's not the only business at Eastridge that's been targeted by thieves.
So jewelry, money, things like that being stolen right now. We know with inflation being what it is and how our government is really driving the US dollar into the shithole, for lack of a better term. We know that's not going to be worth much very soon, right? The only thing that's going to be of value is going to be food, water, necessities. Y'all saw how crazy people went over toilet paper and wipies and things of that nature. So again, imagine when inflation really goes through the roof, as we're already seeing, right? Because I know brothers and sisters in California saying gas got up to like $6 a gallon. People can't even afford to go to work, much less buy groceries and things of that nature. Imagine how bad it's going to get, right? Let's check out one more video and then I'm going to get into another quick topic.
Watched several people filling multiple shopping carts. They left the store without paying. Watch as they load 2 cars waiting in the fire lane. The carts are filled to the brim with laundry detergent and paper towels. Then they take off in the cars, erratically driving and missing a grocery cart. Police believe these vehicles were stolen.
It's terrible. It really is. People have to resort to this, but I think you're going to see more and more of this. you know, with the price of food going up, everything going up.
So, Khan, yes, you are going to continue to see more and more of this as people lose their houses, as people lose their jobs, as the jab becomes mandatory and more people cannot work and provide for their families and households. This is going to happen more and more, right? But more than this, more than theft and things of that nature, there's going to be a rise, and there already is a rise, but it's going to continue to climb in another type of crime, right? And let's go ahead and see what I'm talking about. So what you're seeing here is a man passing by a girl waiting for her bus at the bus stop one morning, right? He drives by, he circles back around as she's not paying attention, putting something in her backpack or taking something out of her backpack. He comes back to the stop sign, parks his vehicle, right? Gets out of his vehicle and proceeds to chase her down. As you can see, he grabs her, she drops her backpack, she tries to fight it off. He trips. He says, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to kidnap her, runs back to his vehicle, gets back in the vehicle, and takes off, right? So we have to understand that the times we are living in, people are getting wickeder and wickeder. We live in a society where people are comfortable in broad daylight trying to kidnap children, right? And this happens more times than you would even imagine. I just realized this week, I looked it up, almost 50,000 people went missing in Texas alone, where I live, right? There's a border town probably about 30, 45 minutes away from where I live. Last time I was there, I was walking in downtown, and there's missing signs everywhere, right? Primarily females and children. So what do you think is going to happen when the shit really hits the fan? When Jacob's trouble is really popping off, right? This is why us men of the Most High, the watchmen, are warning you sisters to get covered by a man of the Most High, right? But let's watch a few more videos.
Police are looking for this man caught on video sexually assaulting a woman in Brooklyn Monday. He jumped on the woman's back, tackles her to the ground, and police say he reached inside her shorts and groped her. This was just after 8 p.m. near the corner of Morgan Avenue and Stagg Street in East Williamsburg.
So as you saw in that video, and there's many other incidents that have been reported over the months, over the past few years really, but it's getting more and more prevalent in these last days, that things like this are happening, sexual assaults and things of that nature, right? But if you notice, and I'm not saying that this is the primary reason, but if you notice, the woman who was sexually assaulted was wearing a half shirt and short shorts, right? Which we know, according to the word, is lascivious, and could be suffering sin and lustful spirits upon men, right? But also, there's a lot more crimes happening, like I said, or like we were watching earlier about the follow home robberies. There's also a lot of follow home assaults being taken place, right? So think about that when it comes to Jacob's trouble. All right, let's take a look at these next two videos.
Likely why DR, we'll call her by her initials, didn't think anything of the young man seemingly on the phone getting on the elevator with her. That's them recorded from above on the elevator's surveillance camera about 7 o'clock Tuesday evening. DR got off on her floor, and so did he. At her apartment door, he pushed her in, terrorized her, beat her, demanded sex acts. And the only thing that spared DR was her ability to get into her bedroom, lock the door, and scream for help out on the balcony. Considerable surveillance video of him leaving the building provide Miami police with the still frames for the flyer.
I will definitely keep.
So as we saw in that video, a man followed this woman into her building, onto her elevator, onto her floor, and then into her apartment and assaulted her, sexually assaulted her. The only way she got away or got him to go away was because she went into her room and locked the door. This is why I teach my daughters and my wife self-defense. This is why I teach my household and those around me that you have to be hyper vigilant. Right? It's not enough to be vigilant in these last days. There is spirits everywhere. Like I said before, there is an ominous, evil, wicked presence that is blanketing society in general. If you are not girded in the truth daily, then this is going to get to you in one way or another. Right? Hyper vigilant, sisters. 1 Peter 5:8, be sober and be vigilant. Satan's like a roaring lion seeking you. Right? Let's watch one more video.
Yeah, Bill, this video is creepy for anyone coming home, whether it's day or night. But this woman tells me that she knew something was up as she approached her building at 2 in the morning. She saw the guy from the corner of her eye, but she was not expecting him to come into the building and then try to barge into her apartment. The video is terrifying. It was just a matter of seconds.
He was literally like 1 second from going inside.
Today, this brave woman, still shaking, finding the courage to speak out about that day as she arrived home from work around 2 in the morning.
Vicious. There was two guys like outside, right? And they were just like looking suspicious.
You see her walking into the building, cautiously eyeing a man on the side. Seconds later, that same man in the white tank top walks into the Sherman Avenue building behind her. She knew he was up to no good.
He followed me inside the building and he said miss twice.
She describes the horrifying moment seen in this video as the suspect accesses the lobby. Seconds later, the woman knew he was around the corner and she quickly tried to open her apartment lock. Her instincts spot on. He came right after her, determined to get inside.
Open up the door, bro. I came inside and then right away I just screamed, somebody's following me. Like he was literally 1 second from coming inside.
As she watches this video, she knows she was very lucky.
I feel very scared. Like I was saying, what if I had the top door locked? What if, like.
So this is just another one of the many examples of the types of follow home assaults that have been happening, right? But there's also many kidnappings, sexual assaults, rapes, sex trafficking, organ harvesting, the list goes on, right? That are going on right now that the mainstream media doesn't really report on, right? And remember again that this is all happening while we live in a so-called civilized society, right? So just imagine how much worse it's going to get in the times to come, right? When it is like it says in 2nd Ezra 15, there's going to be sedition among men, invading one another, right? Not regarding the kings or the princes, aka the police or the authorities that are put in place, right? It says the course of people's actions are going to stand in their own power. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They're not going to listen to any type of authority. The houses are going to be destroyed. Men shall be afraid. Men that are not men of the Lord are going to be afraid. People are not going to have pity on their neighbors, even more so than now, right? And they're going to destroy their houses with the modern day sword, which is what? Guns, right? And weapons, and steal their goods because of the lack of bread, right? Which can be bread, food, or money, right? And because of great tribulation, right? But imagine how much worse it is going to get in the times to come. Right? I remember a brother sent me an article a few years back, and it was about this rich dude that lived in California, and he was using Snapchat. Supposedly you could see like the locations of people on Snapchat. He was using their locations to kidnap women, right? And he was doing all types of crazy 50 Shades of Grey type of crazy stuff, you know, that them heathens like to do, right? By the time he got caught, he had tens and tens of victims, right? So imagine how much worse it's going to get when all hell breaks loose. Or like a brother was bringing out earlier today, you sisters need to be extremely careful, especially on social media, right? Because y'all don't even know, but you are putting a target on your back for when Jacob's trouble and those purge and Book of Eli times really come, right? Brothers are looking at you like you're going to be an easy target, wearing lascivious clothes, dressing half naked, right? When the authorities aren't there, it's going to be really, really easy for you to get, sorry to say it, violated, right? So again, this is why it's very important to get covered by the Most High, men, to get covered by a man of the Most High, sisters, in these last days, right? This is why the scriptures say that a man is a hedge of protection. And where no hedge is, the woman is spoiled. You look up the definition of spoiled. Spoiled can mean robbed. Spoiled can mean kidnapped. Spoiled can mean raped, right? In Isaiah 13 and 16, it says that many children are going to be put to death and many women are going to be ravished or raped in the last days, right? And I know that that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but it's in the scriptures, so we know it will come to pass, and it's something that needs to be talked about and taken very seriously, right? And you need to do the things that are necessary to prevent these types of things, right? This is why the Most High said he will make a man of the Most High more valuable than fine gold. Isaiah 13:12, right? This is why he said a man will be a covert from the tempest as rivers of water in a dry land, in a desert land, right? Because this is what a man was made for, to be a hedge, to be a teacher, to be a leader, right? Especially for you Israelite women. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American women on this side of the earth, you are the ones being kidnapped at an extremely high rate, at a higher rate than any other nation of people, right? Especially since the U.S. is saying we're vulnerable to EMP attack, right? Right, which they've done many simulations and studies on in this past year, and they're even warning that it could happen. It's very likely to happen in the near future, right? Which would mean the lights would be out completely. So how many of you sisters or even you brothers, right, could think you could survive without electricity, right? I know many sisters and brothers were even reached out to me around Feast of Tabernacles or right after it, and they said, hey man, it was hard sleeping outdoors for 7 days in a tent, right? Some sisters said it was scary even, right? So now imagine being permanently without electricity. Could you provide for yourself? Could you defend yourself, right? If you're an uncovered sister or if you're a brother, right? This is why basic survival skills are a very prudent and wise thing to learn in these last days, right? But a lot of times I've spoken on the topic and some brothers say that's carnal and this, that, and the other, right? This is also why it's very prudent to come out of her, my people, right? Get out of the major cities, another sensitive topic for some brothers. I know a lot of brothers and sisters have reached out to me recently and they've been saying they're moving. A lot of people are moving from these totalitarian types of states, right? Or areas like Washington, D.C., New York City, Philadelphia, Washington State, California, right? That they're putting all of these new laws on the books, and a lot of people are, it's like an exodus from these places, right? So I would definitely highly recommend that you move as far away from large populations as possible, right? Now I'm not saying that the Most High's hand is slack and that he can't save you in these cities, right? But what I'm saying is that it is a very profitable and expedient and prudent thing to get out of the major areas where more people are. The more people around you, the more hell is going to break loose, right? Become as self-sufficient as possible, right? Besides that, there are many other signs of how serious the times that we're living in and reasons why you should get right today and not put off until tomorrow, right? You got people getting implanted with microchips all around the world already, right? That can be doubled as a jab passport, right? Then you got Elon Musk saying that this coming year in 2022, he's going to have that brain implant as well, right? Revelation 13:16 on down tells you about the mark, right? Some people still think it's a spiritual mark. Everything in the word is spiritual and physical. Spiritual and physical, right? That mark is coming soon. We can clearly see that soon to come to pass. And we also just seen Biden saying that in order to beat this new so-called variant, right, we're going to have to shut down worldwide, right? And we're already starting to see the schools shutting down. The school system's already shutting down, going back to cyber classes and things of that nature, right? In Asia, they're already shutting down certain countries as well, right? Which is just a sign of the things to come, the mandatory inoculation, etc. So in the EU, actually, booster jabs, they're saying that they're soon going to be required for travel, right? Going back to 2 Ezra 15 again, a man shall desire to go into a city, but shall not be able to. The same thing in Canada, right? In a lot of major cities like New York, Philadelphia, you can't go into restaurants and other businesses like that unless you got that passport as well, right? So again, these are just things that are signs of what's to come, right? On top of that, in the United Nations, I'm sure you saw how they just revealed that beast statue, right, at the New York City location. They're letting you know who they are and what their agenda is, right? According to the book of Daniel, according to the book of Revelation, we know what this beast system is, and it's all coming to pass, just as we've been saying for years and years and years, right? So the point is, the times we are living in are getting more and more serious, right? more serious than most people even realize, right? People say, oh yeah, man, things are getting serious. But if you're not making the moves to make it through these times, hey man, you don't understand how serious they are, right? So in conclusion, I'll say a prudent man foresees the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. That's Proverbs 22:3. Right? Are you just passing on day to day, going through your life like you were last week, last month, right? You're making haste. You're making haste to do wickedness, and you're tarrying to turn to the Most High, right? Today is the day to repent. If you just saw this whole video, you have no excuses. You have been warned, right? Today is the day to get right. Today is the day to make the changes necessary that you know you need to make in order to prepare for these things that you see are coming, right? To prepare for you and your household. Because really soon, money, clothes, shoes, cars, personal feelings and emotions and opinions, all of that vanity, all of what people think, right? All of that is going to have to be tossed to the side, because soon the only thing that's going to be important is your safety and how you prepared spiritually, first and foremost, but also physically for what is right at the doorstep, for what is about to happen, right? It's going to be a dark winter, right? Which starts next week. For those of you brothers who already kept the feast day, right? It says it's supposed to be kept in winter, right? Me and my household will be keeping it, in about 10 days. Winter's barely going to start, and it's going to be a dark winter. It's going to be a cold winter. I pray that y'all are preparing yourselves in the light of the word, right? To make it through the things that are going to come to pass, and to stand before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? And that you don't have to die in these troubles and in these plagues, as I know many people will have to. Just remember, when the ark door closes, it will be too late to get on. It will be too late to repent, right? It will be too late to prepare, right? So don't put off tomorrow to do what the Most High gave you the blessing and the chance to do today. This is not to scare anyone. This is not fear mongering. I know some people said, oh, you're fear mongering. You're pushing fear. I bet y'all would have said the same thing about Noah, right? He's saying, hey, the flood is coming. That's what me and brothers are doing. We're saying, hey, the spiritual flood is coming. Jacob's trouble is right at the doorstep, right? This is not to scare anyone. This is to put the fear of the Most High in you, right? In Hebrews 11:7, that's one of my favorite verses right now. It says, by faith, Noah was warned of the Most High of things not as yet seen. He didn't see them yet. We don't see all of the bad things in Jacob's trouble yet, but we're starting to see them, right? We're starting to see the signs. And then it said he moved with fear. Noah moved with fear, right? By faith, he was in fear of the Most High, and it made him move. And he prepared an ark to the saving of his house. You brothers need to understand that. You need to be preparing your ark spiritually and physically to the saving of your household, right? 1 Timothy 5:8. If you're not providing for your household, you're worse than an infidel, right? And it said Noah became an heir of righteousness, which is by faith, right? So that is what I am exhorting y'all to do as well. Real faith makes you move and makes you act, and it brings about works, right? Most High willing, that's to the saving of your house as well, right? So all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Hamashiach wa Malak Yahweh Shai, Shalom.